It's time for a cookbook haul. I haven't done one of these in months. I checked, and the last actual standalone book haul I did was in July of 2023, and that was when I unbundled my $10 cookbook bundle. So I have been to Half Price Books, and I had a great trip. For people who have asked me how often do you go to Half Price Books? How often do you shop for books? Not as often as you might think. So prior to this trip to Half Price Books, it'd probably been, I don't know, almost 2 months. So 7-8 weeks, something like that. And I think someone must have donated their collection because I kind of hit the jackpot. I got a lot of good stuff, but I left some things behind. I promise you, I am not buying up all the cookbooks in the area. So if you think that I am, I assure you I am not. So I'm just gonna jump right in. First off, I have Betty Crocker's Cookbook for Boys and Girls. Yes, I actually just did a video on this not too long ago. The copy that I used, the recipes inside were taken from this book. This is the 1975 version. I actually have a copy of this already, but mine that I have is a paperback, and this is the hardback with the spiral, the double ring spiral binding, which I love. This was just a couple, $3? I had to. I think I will probably pass on my soft cover version to a friend and kind of replace it with this one. I just love this picture of the kids on the front. Here's the good old ghost cake with the flaming eyes. Let's keep going because there's a lot here. I'm going in no particular order, but this was a very, very good find for me. The Better Homes and Gardens Cookbook. I have the Better Homes and Gardens Cookbook. I don't have this edition. So this one originally was published in 1941. This is the 1949 printing, but it has all of those 1941 recipes in it. So the oldest one that I have of the Better Homes and Gardens binder edition, I think is from 1953. That's the Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. But it's still got, the tabs in it with the index and everything. So I am really looking forward to digging into this one a little bit more, possibly planning another full day of meals video. It's really easy for me to plan full day of meals menus from these kinds of books, these big all-encompassing kind of catch-all cookbooks with all kinds of recipes in them for all courses, breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, everything. It's much easier because there's such a variety of things in these types of cookbooks. Gotta love that red gingham. If you're looking at one of these binder cookbooks and you see that red gingham, you're that's probably a Better Homes and Gardens. And I paid $5 for this one. I was happy to do it. This was interesting because I don't know that I've ever really seen it before. The Women's Day Collector's Cookbook. And I know that this originally was supposed to have a dust cover. This one didn't have it, but it's in great condition. It is from 1960. This is a first edition. The reason I said I think someone went and sold part of a collection or something, several of the books have these post-its with notations in them on the year, on the printing, all of that. That's not normally something I see at Half Price Books, and not all of the books that I have purchased there have that. So it makes me think maybe someone was trying to downsize and they decided to take their collection and sell it, but they left those little post-its inside. Yeah, this is just a really cool cookbook. I don't think there are any pictures of the food, but we do have really fantastic illustrations. It's kind of a compact little book, and I didn't really expect it to have as many recipes as it did. I didn't expect it to be arranged like this either, because usually books of this size, I don't typically see them. Here's another cool little picture of a stuffed mackerel. But I even love just the cover of it with these, it's almost like sponge painted polka dots kind of. That one was $3. Yeah, I paid between $2 and $5 for each of these, which I was happy to do because they were all things for the most part that I didn't have in my collection already, or a better version of things that I may have already had. Okay, I was so excited to see this one. I've kind of had my eye out for it. Pillsbury's Best 1,000 Recipes, and it's the best of the Bake Off collection. So at this point, I believe the Bake Off had been around for about 10 years. You're gonna flip at some of these photographs. Yeah, this was copyright 1959, and I think the Bake Off started in 48 or 49. Love this. So those are photographs of the Bake Off. I mean, look at all those excited ladies pulling out their best recipes, trying to win some money, trying to win some prizes. So we've got some more things on the back here, more photographs of the food, more photographs of the ladies. So this particular book, it says breads, main dishes, cakes, cookies, pies, and desserts that won $1 million in Bake Off prizes. That's big time stuff. Yeah, they do include the person that submitted the recipe or won with the recipe. It's a little awkward to hold. Like the shape, it's very large, it's pretty heavy, and it's kind of like shorter. We'll show a couple photographs. These are ringlings, I think. Grand prize winner by Mrs. Bertha E. Jorgensen from Portland, Oregon. Rolls rich and tender with filberts, hazelnut filling, and then like an orange glaze on the top. That does sound good. Just all kinds of things. So if you've ever seen a Bake Off cookbook, like the little skinny cookbooklets from before 1959, you know, some of the recipes, or maybe all the recipes, I don't know, they're in this book. So this is kind of a treasury of the Bake Off up to that point. But just think, if this book was published after about 10 years of the Bake Off and the Bake Off is still going on, I don't think it goes on every single year. I think they've staggered it now, but just think of how many recipes. Just think of how many recipes there are just from the Pillsbury Bake Off. That is something. $5 for that one. Speaking of the Bake Off, I also got Pillsbury's Bake Off Cake Cookbook. So I have, I think, like 3 of these types of books. They're all Bake Off recipes. Usually you see the Bake Off recipes in those like smaller, I don't have one next to me, but they're like a little bit of a smaller booklet. This is kind of like almost the size of a magazine. I have a couple of these for like Pillsbury Bake Off main dishes. I think I have a cookie one, but those are hardback, and this is like a soft cover. Oh gosh, they're cutting like gumdrops to use as garnishes and decorations. More fun photos, more advice, everything Bake Off. And that one was $2. I know I'm speeding through here, but there are a few left and I want to make sure to get them all in. So this is the Young Children's Mix and Fix Cookbook. And that looks like Humpty Dumpty on the front. And there's a monkey and a duck and a mouse, and they're all cooking together with paper bag hats. And it's the same on the back here. Published by Parents Magazine. I think this is from I want to say the 70s. Let's find out. 1975. It honestly kind of looked a little older to me at first, but I'll take 1975. I paid $2 for this, and these are all children's recipes. So banana butter sandwiches, love those illustrations. This is a whole chapter on sandwiches. Sunshine sandwiches, tuna cheese. We've got crunchy doubles, super eggnog, honey peach delight, yummy lemon orange cooler. Sounds good to me. You know, I love children's cookbooks. Couldn't say no to that one. Oh, I was so excited about this one. My husband actually found this one before I did. And this is also, strangely enough, I think this is also, this one was also published by Parents Magazine, but it is the Royal Cookbook, Favorite Court Recipes from the World's Royal Families. And these are recipes from all over the world, all throughout history. So there's a lot of interesting information on royalty all over the world. So this is Queen Elizabeth with her family. She wasn't queen yet here. There's Princess Margaret Rose. There's the Queen Mother. Her father was King George. Yes, sorry, I always forget. But there's like a little family picture there. Lots of very interesting recipes. Some of them I want to try. Some of them I will not be able to get the ingredients for. Yeah, I couldn't leave it behind. This is from the 70s as well, I think. Roman numerals, one sec. I just want to double check that I get it right. 1971. Okay, I thought it was, but I didn't want to give the wrong information. And I paid $5 for that one too. Just a couple more. We have the Shaker Cookbook. The dust cover on here, you know, it's got a little tear in it, but that's okay. This one is from 1953. You know, there's not really pictures of the food. Every once in a while you will get an illustration. Let me see if I can find one. They're just kind of sprinkled throughout in black and white. And that one was $3. I think like originally the Shaker Society of Cleveland, where did it go? Asked this person to prepare a Shaker cookbook, which that would make total sense for it to be here, you know, in this area. Okay, yeah, it says, I was asked to prepare a booklet on Shaker cookery for the Shaker Historical Society of Cleveland, Ohio. As I delved into the subject, I became fascinated by the project, not only because many of the recipes were unique and deserved preservation, but chiefly because of the attitude of this religious order toward food and its preparation. So yeah, that's kind of how this started. I did buy a couple of other books that weren't cookbooks, but I don't think they're that interesting for this crowd. So we're gonna stick to the cookbooks. Metagiven. The Modern Family Cookbook. Oh, Meta. We love her. I have a couple of her other books. This one was originally published in 42, but this is the 1958 edition. If you're familiar with cookbooks, if you are a collector, you probably know who Meta Given is. She also has, it's like I believe two volumes of like modern menus. I have that. I just didn't bring it. I should have brought it with me. Yes, it's Meta Given's Modern Encyclopedia of Cooking. So I have like the 2-volume version of that. Oh, wow. Her middle name was Hortense. Meta Hortense Given. Wow, I really like her name. Anyway, so Modern Family. This is another one of those cookbooks that would be great for me to plan a menu from, just because it has a little bit of everything in it. Does it have any photos? I think they're few and far between, but we do have a few. Mostly, oh, this one's in color though. That looks pretty. So, you know, I think I sped through that kind of fast, but I wanted to get these. I always have to like, whenever I buy new books, I leave them sort of like separated out from the rest of my shelves, and I can't put them away until I film them, you know, if I want to do a haul video. So I kind of wanted to make sure I took care of this. So now I can mix them in with the rest and use them hopefully to make some more videos for you. Would you like to see more cookbook hauls? Let me know in the comments down below. If you love videos about cookbook hauls, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.